Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2. Team Secret taking on Newbee in a best-of-3 showdown here in your MDL Group A opening action. The winner of this match will move on into the winner bracket finals. This is purely for seeding here. Whoever finishes in the bottom half of the bracket will end up in the lower bracket come the main event when all 8 teams converge, but that will be in the days ahead. For now, it's early days of MDL. I'm LD. I'm joined here by GoDz. Secret currently leading the best-of-3, 1-0. GoDz, I have to say, it was not the smoothest showing by Secret. Pretty rough start to the laning stage. Felt like if Newbee played their cards right, they should have won that game, but hey, that's what Bounty Hunter excels at. You make a mistake, and he will punish.
Yeah, it's an interesting game to look back on because I'm kind of like, yeah, Secret didn't have a great early or mid game, but I'm like, what exactly did they do that wrong or poorly? And there's nothing that really stands out. I don't think they played badly or made poor movements. It's just their draft didn't come online until much later on. When you're picking this they had the greedier draft of the two with the Tide, Storm, PA. They're very item dependent. Tide just needs to farm a lot. PA takes a while to come online. Doesn't really fight into that draft until you have BKB. So Secret just rid out the Storm. You play that game like 10 times, they probably lose maybe more than half of them just because it takes so long for their items to come online, but they held their high ground so well. And it's a great start for the new Team Secret.
5 seconds remaining.
Definitely is, and considering what a radical change they made to the roster and the fact they have yet to play an official coming into this tournament, whereas Newbee has gotten quite a bit of practice with their new roster and some online tournaments within China. It's definitely a good start here, but Newbee, we'll see how they adjust. The quick adjustment is to ban the Bounty Hunter. Interesting, because generally in the past when we've seen teams ban Bounty Hunter, they ban it because Bounty's winning the lanes. You harken back to like the FY Bounty Hunter of old, Puppy, of course, when he was playing it very successfully in the past. All the teams that did well with it typically dominated in the lanes, GoDz, and then you're like, okay, I don't want to have to deal with this guy sniping my courier, constantly harassing my mid, ganking effectively. This was not a lane-dominating Bounty Hunter, but like you said, with the changes to the hero, it feels like he's much more about the track, about level 6, and even later on the level 11 where he can have that impact. So Newbee respect banning it, but not for the normal reasons.
It's a kind of new hero, or at least a new way that people have found to play him. I'm curious to see whether we're going to be seeing more. I mean, I wouldn't say like more of what we saw at TI. TI, we saw everything. It really feels like this patch, there's still so many different possibilities. The latest trend in the Chinese scene for these qualifiers has been like OD Earth Spirits as opening. So Earth Spirits come back, ODs come back. We're seeing anything still possible. So this patch is in some ways still unexplored. And it's still very open as far as which direction you want to go with your draft.
Newbee, a first overall pick Slardar grab, and they are doing it on the Radiant side. A bit unconventional of an opening here, GoDz. Why do you reckon Slardar so early?
He's somewhat flexible because you can run him safe lane or off lane. I think one of the key things often you'll see with the opening 2 picks is that if you're picking cores, it's cores that you can change their lanes if your opponents do something unexpected. So Slardar does have that bit of versatility. And it's probably just Newbee. They have something in mind. They have a strat or a style, a hero that they want to pair with the Slardar that benefits from the vision and from the minus armor that can really combo well with it. So I imagine Newbee, some kind of life stealer, some kind of PA of their own, something that can really benefit from having the amp damage is going to be coming out from them later on.
So Secret going back to the well for the IO. Ended up working out pretty well for them. Pylai died, didn't have the easiest game as far as his early game went, but he found the track gold later on, and that made all the difference. And to back it up, the 4F Tidehunter, very similar opening here from Team Secret.
And this time, 4F, man, he went from playing like Axe and all these fun heroes and MVP, and now Puppy's like, you get to play Tide.
You're going to be a one-button hero, and you're just going to have to get crushed in the lane, or go to the jungle. So.
Go jungle with your Iron Talon, get your mech up for the team, play all these team items.
Reserve time.
MVP, you get to play Axe, get Blink Daggers, get kills, dunk on some fools, you know. Puppy, you're a cruel, cruel leader.
I mean, if Secret wanted an Iron Talon jungler, they could have just called our old buddy Swindle Melons up, you know? Did they really?
Yeah.
Should they really be wasting 4F's potential on the Iron Talon jungle Tidehunter GoDz? I think
Look,
not.
LD, I have no idea why they didn't pick Swindles up. That's a mystery to me. Absolute mystery.
No, I do love my Swindles, though. I hope we get to see quite a bit of him in the days to come. And, you know, frankly, I am rooting for Swindles to kick some ass and to finish like top 5 at the major, and just to shut all the haters up. He's gotten pretty far at the major before. I believe in Swindle God. And I am looking forward to his transition into the
5
support role, but
seconds remaining.
that's a discussion for another day. As the OD that was second stage banned in the previous
Newbee's
game of this
turn to
series will
ban.
be first phase picked. Great hero against the Tidehunter gods, tons of burst damage to deal with the IO, can really punish the Ravage initiation with a well-timed Astral, and just an annoying laner on top of it all.
Yeah. I think the new
10
big style that
seconds
has made
remaining.
OD come back is we're seeing a lot more of the Max Astral and Prison build, used
5
mostly to push out
seconds
lanes
remaining.
quickly. So this hero can go mid, push out a lane, go grab a rune, can be much
Reserve
more
time.
active and involved, and just has this nice nuke damage potential from the Astral Imprisonment. Another nice thing about this hero is it can actually safe lane as well. You can send him against the Tide. It's a great matchup having OD versus Tide,
Team
but
Secrets
Razor
turn
Band
to
makes me
ban.
think Newbee almost certainly are going to run it.
And definitely one of the best, if not the best, heroes to match up against OD in lane. As for Secret, banning out the Lifestealer, great partner for the Slardar. Obviously,
10
Rage, fantastic to
seconds
have against the Tidehunter, as well as just to focus the IO down in
5
team
seconds
fights. So,
remaining.
trying to limit the burst damage, the pick-off potential. Newbee can bring to the table. Also, Lifestealer really good
Resolve
at
time.
zoning that Tide with some support assistance, should they choose to run the off-lane Slardar. So, Newbee. Still options open as far as the lanes, though. Like you said, Slardar can go off-lane if he's got the right matchup.
Yeah, very, very flexible. And Secret are just banning up some of the ladder
Newbee's
partners, the
turn to
Jug, the
ban.
Lifestealer, the physical damage that can pair up with the amp damage, and that can be a big threat. Lifestealer Slider combo, we saw a ton going back to the Manila Major. Juggernaut just always a strong, stable hero that has a bit more push with the healing ward than the Lifestealer brings to the
10
table.
seconds remaining.
Newbee, what's it going to be here for ban number
5
4?
seconds remaining.
The Storm does get removed.
Okay.
Team
Mid one,
Secrets turn to pick.
talking about his play last game, you did see some I think, cause for concern with Secret. Sure, they go on to win the game mainly because of track gold and 1 or 2 good team fights, but Mid one was going in on his own a lot. One of the times he goes in after being
10
offensively
seconds
relocated,
remaining.
knew there was no way Pi could save him. A couple of other times, guys, it really
5
felt like he was
seconds
forcing it. I mean,
remaining.
he was known for his aggressive balls to the wall play back in
Admiral
Fnatic, but when you
Conca.
add in maybe even a bit more difficulty
Newbee's
communicating
turn
with
to
your
pick.
teammates, it feels like Secret's still not on the same page. It is early days for this new lineup, and we've yet to really see how they're going to gel, but does that worry you much as someone looking at this new roster?
I think you'd rather he play too aggressive than not aggressive
10
enough, because it's
seconds
easier to start going a bit too fast paced, a bit too deep, and then try to turn it
5
back a bit.
seconds remaining.
And you want him to be that big playmaker. MP's never really been the flashiest of players.
Reserve time.
Going way back, his Invoker was very flashy, one of the best, but that was just more like a hero thing. As far as his playstyle, it's much more conservative, farms up, gets his items. He's a very stable carry/mid player. Mid one is, compare this team to MVP. He's the Q of this team. He's the guy who's going to make the ballsy plays that you sometimes need to win a game, that can
Secrets
turn
turn
the
to
tides of
pick.
the battle. And that's, I think, really, as much as Mid one made some really questionable dives, he also made some really important ones later on in that game.
Yeah, once he got going, he really did get going. I think at 22 Bloodstone charges, and at that point there was just no stopping him, especially with an
10
Aegis, a
seconds remaining.
tethered cheese potentially to help him out from Pylai in the IO.
5
And
seconds
Mr.
remaining.
Kunkka, this was a hero that wasn't really all that popular before TI Gods, and then he just kind of had this like
Reserve
explosion of popularity. Everyone was picking him. We saw a lot of cute, like cheesy ways to siege with the X marks the spot. Really good roaming from Kunkka players. The boat does bring a lot to team fights, and we saw that attacker item build come into play. Lanham, one of the big and very successful Kunkka players at TI. Kunkka in this particular draft, how do you like him?
It's great. I think Kunkka's a hero you can just first pick and will fit any draft. It's just a very stable pick. He's got the team fight with the Ghost Ship, the Coco's Rum. He's got that kind of slight roaming potential with the Torrent threat to help out the mid lane. So I think it's all around a good pick. If someone like OD or Slada can force the fight, then you just throw the Torrent, throw the boat to try help out your team. So I think it's a solid pick all around.
We'll have to see what they look to pair it with here. Does give them something to set up the relocate ganks now with the X. Though, Newbee has some ways to deal with this in the form of the Astral Imprisonment for the OD. A hero that generally will grab a blink and maybe can escape with his mobility from the Kunkka if the follow-up isn't quite there. Still for Secret, looking to see what they pair it with. We have seen Maranas picked fairly frequently with the Kunkka. Definitely needing damage here, GoDz. They only have really team fight and setup. There is no follow-up as of yet.
Yeah, Well, I mean, I guess that's what they're trying to keep secret is what the big calls are going to be for their team. For Newbee, similar thing, like their carry isn't totally revealed yet. I guess OD can dish out some damage, but the partner for the Slaughter, some kind of follow-up for the OD, yet to be totally revealed. But Secret going to have to reveal one of their MP/mid-1 heroes now. I'm very unlikely to see something like a mid-Kunker. That would be a bit, I think, too out there, but Puck for now.
Ooh.
Newbee's
The Puck
turn
picked
to
up
pick.
for, I imagine, for mid-1. So still looking for MP's hero.
Yep. Puck, stable, more super heavy team fight. I think Secret saw what worked well for them last game, which was having the team fight advantage as well as some good
10
late game carries. We don't see the
seconds
late game carry yet, but that's likely to come out of NP's hero.
5
For
seconds
Newbee,
remaining.
if you're going to contest that team fight, I don't really know what's available because OD Slaughter, like the OD ultimate's big. The
Reserve
Slaughter,
time.
though, is typically your offlaner. They want to contest the team fight. They almost need to run someone like Slaughter, safe lane, and pick up an offlaner that has that big team fight presence.
I mean,
that may just be an area they can't contest, and they play more pick-off style using the Slaughter.
yeah, and then on the side of Secret, obviously, great team fight. It feels like they need a really hard carry now.
Team Secret's
Anything
turn
that
to
jumps
bat.
out at you, assuming it's an MP hero, used to be known for his Invoker, but that was generally a Quas-Wex Invoker and MVP. Anything else that comes to mind in particular?
I think Morphling's one of the stronger carries of the patch. Doesn't match up great against OD though.
10 seconds
I
remaining.
do still think the heroes can be picked here. It's quite viable.
5
Otherwise,
seconds remaining.
Anti-Mage something not great. This TB Slaughter physical damage is
Sven, I guess, is an occasional IO partner, but there's a lot of control and damage for him.
I guess you look more towards the IO partners that are the big carriers, and the Sven, of course, the Tinies, okay. So perhaps a Sven or a Tiny.
If it is one of those melee carries, though, I feel like
10
Newbee have a lot of ways to
seconds
kite him. So if Secret
Yeah.
don't get that great setup, could be dealt with rather
5
easily. As
seconds
Secret
remaining.
will opt to ban out the Lion, so I hear they can really shut down Puck. I
Reserve
think that's
time.
the main thing here with the Hex to instantly get the jump on him and focus him down. And then the Finger maybe to blow up the IO in fights. Morphling will be the ban, so good call there. And Surrection Slacks is in the chat,
Team
but apparently
Secret's
he's
turn
also
to
in
pick.
China Gods. We are going to see an Omni Knight.
Nice. So everyone's favorite pub duo. I mean, there's a lot of favorite pub duos, but OD Omni Knight has got to be up there as far as.
So you want a
hated
Diffusal
duos.
Blade carrier, ideally, if you're
10
It's one of those
Secret.
hard
remaining.
things. Yeah, you want a diffusal carry, but it's like the diffusal carries are normally like kind of
5
questionable
seconds
heroes to
remaining.
begin with. Like some of for carry roles. Like there's a limited pool of like safe lane diffusal heroes that you
10
want to go. Like
seconds
Juggernaut's
remaining.
alright, but you don't really want to get a hero just because it goes
5
diffusal. I'd almost be
seconds
tempted to pick like an
remaining.
anti-mage here, but
Ooh.
Slot comes out. Okay, this is decent.
Down the same line of thinking here, someone that can scale very well is difficult to control, especially for Newbee. You can Dark Pack off the amp damage. They don't really have too much AoE control or damage, just really the OD ult, I suppose. So if MP is able to get his farm, he could be a real threat later on in the game.
I'm liking, and similar to the first game, I give Newbee, I like Newbee's draft just because they're the ones setting the tempo, playing faster, pushing towers. But we saw last game, like I don't think by any means was it an out draft based on how Secret could come back in the mid to late game with track. This time they don't have track, so if they have a slow start, their comeback is just going to be winning team fights, and it's not going to be as fast a comeback because they don't get that extra gold boost. So Newbee going to
10
be
seconds remaining.
not even on a timer necessarily. Again, you look at Newbee, they do scale very well
5
into the late game.
seconds
They've got
remaining.
good carry potential in the OD and Terrorblade.
Well, guys, we're underway now with Game 2 of our Best of 3 showdown. Don't forget, we've also got the other
Prepare
simultaneous
for
game
battle.
going on right now beyond the Summit 2. That is, of course, MVP Phoenix versus LGD Forever Young with Coddle Guy and Lumi. But over here, Secret leading 1-0 in the Best of 3. A loss puts you down into the lower bracket of the GSO group, and you will have to win a couple of matches in a row should you hope to start in the upper bracket of the main event. Lots of brackets, but this is what Simple Gods. It's Dota. It's an early smoke from Secret, and they are going to get all up in these Ancients' business as they have the Observer Ward down. Did they see KP slither up there, or did that get planted down afterwards?
Oh, Fate's on there. I don't believe so. I'll see him coming back. He hasn't actually
Kind of tough
got
to
a
dive
ward
him
on
at this
though.
point. They're just going to hang out near the rune. Looks like looking to secure the top rune.
30
Over towards the
seconds
bottom
to battle.
side, Newbee playing safely back towards there. So looks like S3C will be grabbing it and then presumably heading towards the mid lane. Faith looking to block his wave for now, and Unai will be farming bottom. So you're going to have a Terrorblade bottom. Puppey on the Kunkka with the early pickup of the Windlace. Will be that roaming 4-position support, at least for the time being.
Curious to see how these lanes go. Slatter shouldn't get... he's actually do alright in his lanes because it's an IO. Like, IO Slack level 1, can't zone him all too easily. Perhaps we'll see a level 1 like Essence and try to get the fast pounce so you can zone Slatter a bit better, but given the nature of this dual lane, KP's gotten items to contest the lane. Stout Shield, lots of regen, a mango. He wants to be able to get experience out of the lane and even slow down the Slack's farm. So
it is going to be a puck mid versus OD. Generally not the most fun of matchups for a puck player. Do you expect mid one to get much help, or are they just kind of resigned to sacrificing this lane a bit and looking to win elsewhere?
Puppey can definitely help, being able to move around using the torrent. So he's probably the one player that can get active and move around the map a bit. But for now, he wants to pressure down bottom where Kake is on the Witch Doctor. Oh,
almost nearly a total lag out here. Perfect world, showing no mercy. But we do catch Puppey with the early torrent bottom. This keeps up May. Chance of reconnect. Yeah, I'm going to go for it, God, so keep me updated as to what's happening here.
Nothing much. This is just poking and prodding in the lanes. Both teams running the dual lanes in off lane, so Faith on Omni Knight is going to help out KP. So we'll see 2v2 lanes at bottom and top for now. I say 2v2 bottom, but Puppey is already moving towards mid, just probably looking to help out the puck, throw some torrents. It's kind of like the Bounty Hunter in that your early game Kunkka doesn't really have a huge amount of kill potential. He's just annoying. Puppey right now is throwing torrents, trying to make SCC miss CS, trying to get some free harass off, and he's just being annoying. He's not actually posing a kill threat just yet.
Not yet, but that could change once you see some more levels on the puck. As Faith and KP, they do convert this into a full-on dual lane against the Slark. Still, so far, MPCSing well. But Faith is going to get to work on Pylai Die here. Has gone for the early boots grab and has skilled the Degenara. This is the lane harassment build. That can be very frustrating if you're not that good at trading blows. And Io most certainly is not with 0 base armor. Looks like he's trying to rush a bottle. And that is not going to help you trade effectively with an Omni Knight.
Look at ODCS, 7 blast hits, 8 denies.
And that's with Puppey coming mid to try and assist.
Yeah. And that's the thing, Puck is 5 and 5, but I imagine about close to half of that is because of Puppey's torrents that he threw. So this lane would be going even worse if not for Puppey's help.
Now the Astral from S3C. It's level 2. Mid 1. Still trying to duke it out with him, but unless there's a little backup here from Puppey, no mana for the torrent. Can't really offer too much lane support when you're out of mana as a Kunkka.
It's still like going all right for mid 1. He's getting at least enough CS, some XP, so he can. This is not like a sign that they have to send help towards the mid lane, but it is a lane where SCC will have the edge.
Meanwhile, U9 on the Terrorblade, 13 and 7 bottom, but they're not keeping Forev out of the lane. Bit lacking on damage here unless they want to commit the Metamorphosis. They have opted for the Point of Maledict, saving that 3rd skill point for now. Kaka may skill it up if he feels like there's an opening for a kill, but we'll need a good cast bounce to attempt it. Or just zoning for now. Flops it out. Forev just trying to soak up experience as much as possible. So overall, GoDz looking at CS, it seems like a slight advantage here for Newbee, and they do find themselves up a mild 200 gold, but overall laning stage, are you pretty happy for either team, or do you not really feel like there's much of an advantage just yet?
Not much. It's very similar to last game, I think, where the Bounty / Kunkka are replacing each other. Top lane, they will make a jump onto KP.
Oh, going on the Slardar with the back of the Omni Knight. Often scary, but Puppey is there for the +1 as the neutrals do their best to deny MP, but he will not be denied here. Great rotation by Puppey. Didn't see him coming until it was too late, and the heal bomb can be pretty scary in a 2v2, but when you've got that power play from a roaming Kunkka, not the case. Puppey gets on the board first here for Secret, and they are going to find S3C in the mid lane. Only a level 4 puck, though. They're still going to look to jump here with the orb coming through. He's forced to pop the Fairy Fire very low, but not dead yet. Faith to save the day. Pylai Die drops to the tower. The power of his holiness. The Omni Knight getting the job done.
Whew. Okay. Meanwhile, bottom lane, it looks like there was a kill on the Tide. Deep under the tower. That's the Terrorblade Metamorph being committed, though. whether or not they can push with this. They've got the siege creep. Again, they're kind of timing this around the siege creep, but it looks like they're more interested in the pulls and farm for now. They know Tide's coming back soon. This Metamorphosis is actually going to wear off, so I think recognizing they're not taking the tower. Unlike last game where they had the Drow, they had 3 heroes pushing with a 4th hero Mirana ready to rotate. This time around, it's just 2 heroes and no one able to rotate. They're just going to play the farm game. But a great gank and rotation towards mid lane from Secret. Unfortunately for them, Omni Knight was just ready to react and save SCC.
Still mid 1. Taking a lot of harassment here. And
He's winning the CS battle now, by the way.
Doing well with the pseudo tri-lane he's had, but now that rotation is towards the top lane, as we will see MP and Pylai diving onto KP, but they do miss the pounce. This could be a turnaround on Pylai. The crush is there. The heal bomb not happening. KP instead just going to walk away. Faith didn't really like the look of things. And in fact, Funko was somewhat in the neighborhood over towards the top rune now. It's Faith who's got to be careful. Doesn't have to point and repel. He wants to chase on the Pylai here. Is going to let the heal go, leaving MP. If he hits the pounce, will get the kill. And you betcha, grabs another. KP now looking for the trade. And Io getting massacred by that heavy physical damage of the crush. Still sitting on 0 base armor.
The early Essence shift just allows you to fight so well as Slark. Like, you're not... Yeah, normally you think like a Omni Knight Slider lane can be really annoying with the heal bomb, but MP's just stealing stats, getting himself tanky and making his opponents weaker as he does so, and it's really playing out very well for him in this top lane, as Slark is doing a great job 2-0 already, decent CS, and he's not been phased at all by this offensive dual lane. Well, I say that KP himself is equally farmed to the Slark in terms of CS.
Is even like an advantage for either team to you? Is there a team that needs to be winning this laning stage, GoDz, or is it much more just about the mid-game execution?
I think similar to last game where even early on, it's been a lead into Newbee taking objectives with Terrorblade Metamorphosis, and then it comes down to Secret's timing with their ultimates, how well they can play around the Ravage, the Ghost Ship, whether or not they can execute their big team fights, because it's Newbee who will be playing the slightly faster tempo this game.
Secret continuing the musical lanes. Pylai dynamic his journey down bottom as they want to try and equalize this 1,500 gold lead or so that Newbee managed to accrue. Put some pressure on the Terrorblade. In fact, also rotating in is mid 1. This is a great time to strike as the puck, but there's a Sentry Ward planted down. Kaka also out in front to try and tank this gank, but instead both heroes get caught out by the Coil of Ravage as well. Ooh, 9 gets completely bursted. Faith unable to get the heal off in time. They may have gotten 2 or 3 kills the other way if he could. Also, the Sunder prevented there by the puck silence and the Ravage follow-up. It shows you how good the Omni is at turning fights around, though, GoDz. If Faith was able to get the kill off just a little bit sooner, they may have gotten 3 kills for nothing there.
They knew it was coming. They had the Sentry Ward down. They'd scouted out the Invis rune, I believe, with the Observer Ward, but unfortunately for them, they just died too fast. The Puck, they were too close to the tree line, so Puck was able to get the 2-hero Coil silence off from the tree line before they even saw him with the Sentry Ward. It was this, like, he didn't even really have to use the Invis rune, he just used the Fog more than anything, and really nice play from mid 1. Gets them 2 big kills.
And they even forced KP to rotate down here. So an Observer Ward scouting him out. That's a big win for Secret. On the back of it, quick 2,000 gold swing puts them out in front again as S3C forced to move towards the top side of the map for now, just to ensure someone's farming that lane. But this will leave mid 1 free to catch up in the mid lane and continues to CS here as he's actually ahead of the OD. You mentioned he was leading a bit earlier. Despite the rotation, stays on top. Not too often you will see a puck even close to an OD's farm, but they make that move onto S3C again. The pounce comes through. Quick TP out. Is he going to drop in time? Looks like he should be okay, but they force him off the lane. It's a very minimal investment to do so. Secret's doing a good job at controlling these lanes even while Ravage is on cooldown.
Yep. Fighting well, Puppy's stacking Ancients for the team, and the worst part about that bottom fight for Newbee in some ways was that Unai used the Metamorphosis, so he comes back to lane. They can't even take objectives at a time where I'm not entirely set that Newbee necessarily want to until they've got the Slider Blink Dagger. That's where they get really scary, but even so, it's just like a ultimate that Secret unafraid of. If anything, I'd say the Metamorphosis is as important of an ultimate as the Ravage at this stage of the game, so trading the Ravage for the Metamorphosis and winning the fight means Secret get a big advantage out of that bottom engagement.
Mid 1, 3C duking it out here. Does deploy the silence. Still no sign of anybody on Newbee really looking to make plays. And I think
Anyone might be dead?
It's got to be KP there. Oh, looks like he's okay. There is an OD ult though. S3C definitely thinking about it. I guess if you look at Newbee GoDz, just waiting on the KP Blink Dagger right at this point. It's already up to 1800 gold, and they really don't have anyone else to initiate.
Mid-1 back to grab the rune, as well as using the little XTP trick, so Secret using all the little tricks they can to get an early game advantage here. But yeah, the KP Blink Dagger you mentioned is really going to be the big item timing for Newbee that they can play around. They're likely going to smoke up as soon as they get that, bring the Terror Blade, try and get a pick off, and then transition that pick off into a kill, into a tower, sorry.
Meanwhile, MP does get amped here, but Pyladi's the real target they're hoping for. He's actually a much easier kill. Although, with that said, MP does get crushed before he's able to use the Dark Pact still to turn around. MP going to force him back, and meanwhile in the bottom lane, mid-1, with his haste turn is hunting after Kaka, but he does miss the orb here. Kaka might be able to stand against this damage and even look to turn it. Has the cask available, patiently hanging onto it, gets healed right up by Faith, who also deploys a repel. And with that, U9 very confident to push himself forward in this lane.
Yeah, they saw Tide TP top, so they know this bottom lane is a little bit exposed. And mid-1 also knowing that is like trying to clear out the creep wave, draw the aggro to himself so he can take the creeps out. And already Secret, you can see them responding to this. They've got Kunkka down here as well. Unfortunately, not quite level 6, but very close.
Yeah, he did eat the tome, so you can see Secret really looking to prioritize that Kunkka ultimate to slow down the push of a Terrorblade. They will need it. A good phase shift here, dodging the cast, but still the Death Ward onto mid-1. One more right click, not even needed. They get the kill anyway. Insane physical damage. Puppy walks back into the Death Ward. Almost dies in the process. Will live. But now just Witch Doctor basically soloing 2 enemy heroes. Nothing to see here, guys.
That was a great play from Kaka. Having the level 3 Maledict as well, maybe catching Secret by surprise. Looks like they will defend the tower. Forbes TP comes back off cooldown, so they defend the tower, but Newbee will still be happy about getting a key kill on the puck, which slows down the Blink Dagger. And Secret, it's so annoying to push into the torrent spam. Like, the torrents just keep coming out, hitting you. The puck orbs, draws the creep aggro off the tower. Like, Newbee have now tried like 2 or 3 times to push this bottom tier 1 tower, but always get met by resistance.
Well, S3C up at the top rune. A timely grab here on the Blink Dagger. Secret could get punished for chasing this. Although, as I say, that Slardar out of mana, so instead of baiting it, S3C will just play it safe, backs up. But now that the Blink's ready, Dire Squad yet to see it as he bought it from the fountain. Could see KP make that first move. Anyone in particular you're really gunning for here as a Slardar?
I think it's more a location, which is bottom lane. I don't think a certain hero. You want to avoid team fighting into Tide, but the bottom lane is the place where you're already grouped up and there's a tier 1 tower you're looking to take so you can gain better Roche control. So yeah, TP's bottom. Tide's there, which is a bit unfortunate because it's not really an easy target to go on. You don't want to overcommit to Tide. And they're also waiting for Metamorphosis to come back up, but KP likely to be scouted by this Dire Ward as well if he's going to poke his nose out. So he's been seen.
Astral just being used to farm up here a bit in the mid lane. Looks like mid-1 grabbed the Gloves of Haste, but now saving up his gold. Maybe opting for the Blink Dagger earlier.
I believe there's a 6 stack of Ancients here. It looks like a 5 or a 6 stack of Ancients waiting for Secret. Huge amount of farm for them.
They have the Tide to farm it. They have the Kunkka to help out. So, level 3 Tidebringer, so he's getting there. I don't really feel like Newbee are too good at jacking the Ancients. Yeah, you have a Terror Blade, but there's no AoE here to clear them out.
Triple Black Dragons means that's +9 armor to all of those. So Tide isn't even going to kill it very easily because of that, which is very annoying.
Newbee just slowly creeping in this bottom lane. Under cover of smoke, looking for that jump to initiate the fight. They do scout out mid-1 with their Observer Ward. They have the Slardar Blink. They've got some time here, but if they jump him when 4Ev's backing him up, that Ravage Coil combo could completely turn the tides of this fight. So they're being patient. They're waiting. They have the repel to go on E9. The smoke's going to wear off soon, like you said. And they are awful hesitant, GoDz. In the end, they just back away.
MP will see everything. You may actually kill Kaka here.
And the worst part is the smoke's already worn off, so now the relocate comes, but into the Blink Dagger Crush combo. Can they turn this one around? The heal keeps Kaka alive. Lets it go with the Death Ward, and because the Slark is currently invisible, the IO takes all the damage. Now Faith getting off the self-repel, but Terrorblade does not have a Metamorphosis to engage in this fight, so it's up to S3C to do the damage. He tries to bring down mid one, dropping him low, gets up the Astral, lets the ult go, and as the Astral lands, mid one, barely surviving. The Tether's there. Can Pi save the day? Tries to bring him back. He keeps him in fighting shape. The repel onto S3C, but still, although he does a lot of damage, S3C struggling to finish off Heroes. Another repel to pounce off the mark just a little bit, but where the pounce fails, the Dark Pact succeeds. Torrent to fly, catches out Faith, dead as well. Secret pulling through as this fight goes later and later, and without U9's ultimate, they have very little firepower, but they do have one last trick up their sleeve, and that is the Thunder. They get another kill. They turn back for MP. Shadowblade's away. The Sentry is there. The Maledict ticking him down. They can still see him. There's no mana for a pounce. He needs Pi to help him, but Pi really doesn't want to go in here because he would die as well, and now the TP back. Slaughter might clean up. Tethering out, but this buys time for KP. Silence is there, but it's not going to be. It is actually a full duration one. He's able to keep KP out of the fight a bit longer. Pi, in the end, crushed up, brought down. Puppey scrambling back. The chase continues. It is the end of the fight. 8-9 the score. Madness in the bottom lane, and it's been such a long fight, GoDz, that they have another Metamorphosis ready to go.
I just want to know how much damage was thrown at mid one that fight. Like between the phase disjoint and the overcharge blocking damage and the tether healing him up, they must have thrown like 2,000 plus damage at this part. 4 of it bottom may get caught out. KP has another crush in a couple of seconds.
He doesn't care. He's going in, but the crush instantly cracking off.
Nice to tower that.
And it is in fact a Midas puck, GoDz, so an interesting grab here. We'll talk about it in a second, but for now, U9 in trouble. The heal comes through. The repel was available, did not opt to use it. Leaves U9 for the Wolves, instead tries to save himself. Faith backing off from Forev. Instead, nope, never mind that. Going back in, coming in hot. Doesn't have the TP cooldown. He goes for the heal. He wanted to kill him Forev. He's not going to find it. He's self-propelled. He tries to buy time. Take the Ancients, he says, but the Ancients won't take him. Instead, Puppey grabs the kill, and what do you know? Secret, clean up that massive, I think it's a quintuple stack, like you said.
It's 6. It's actually 6
One,
with
two.
the...
Oh, you're right. 3
dragons,
dragons, 2 ancient granite golems, and an old thunder hide to round things out.
Well,
that's a lot of
even
gold.
with the +9 armor, the bonus HP, and the drums aura, clearing the sanctions stack, no problem at all. Like the sustain on the puck in that bottom fight, and Pilot Eye's IO just making huge amounts of plays for Team Secret to win these fights. They're just dragging the fights out, had this ridiculous sustain, the mech on Forev now as well, and that was just ridiculous how well mid one stayed alive. And I don't mind the Midas pickup. He's not really been limited by not having a Blink Dagger this game, so seems
they want
fine.
to fight top. S3C has the ultimate. He lets it go on MP, brings him down, but will pay with his life, and KP too. Snapping the coil will seal his fate. A 2-for-1 exchange. They do get the Slark, but it comes at a heavy cost.
This game's looking really bad all of a sudden for Newbee. They have got to farm Terrorblade, but the Slark is just getting out of hand. Unfortunately for MP, couldn't quite get off his Shadow Dance that fight, but it's still Secret, fighting very well around all the sustain and heals on their team.
Well, they are going to take advantage of the repel here to find that pickoff, but U9 now. Follow-up comes through. The repel on cooldown for just a second. Oh, he will get caught, brought back by the Hex and savaged by the Ravage. Secret bringing him down. Oh, this is the one slight downside to that one point in degen, GoDz. You would sure love to have the level 3 repel. Wouldn't have died there if it was available.
It's a risky move anytime you start getting too many in the degen, even just the one there, something that he gets punished for. And that's a big kill. That's the top net worth here in the game by quite a big margin as well. This Terrorblade is actually quite far ahead, but great chain stun with the Ghost Ship into the Ravage. I mean, another kill going Team Secret's way. MP about to finish off his Echo Saber, I imagine. Then he gets even scarier to deal with. It's just the levels of some of these heroes. That's where the Midas from mid one can be really powerful. He's just going to hit that level, like 14 timing, where he's got the max phase shift and can blink almost away from anything. And at that point, he's completely unkillable.
Well, they go on Puppey here. They're going to have to commit a death ward because he does have the armlet. Too busy buying to pop it. Will end up falling anyway. With the Maledict level 3 and the amp damage going, it was unlikely he survives that.
Slark.
This would be
May
huge.
realize they see him.
They get the crush initiation. He did not dark pact in time. Had no idea it was coming. It just gets mowed down by the heel of Omniscience. Faith securing a kill where many other heroes would have faltered, but Omni Knight is a pure creature. And the evil filth that is the Slark simply cannot stand against it.
Much needed kills on the Slark and the Kunkka, and it's not just kills, it's towers. Metamorphosis up, so this could be 2 towers. 25 seconds on Slark. You don't want to buy back your Slark at this stage of the game. It's just a tier 2 tower, but it's still an advantage that's going to be going Newbee's way as a result. So nice smoke rotation from Newbee. And they're kind of putting themselves in a position to really... This is what they were kind of trying to do 5-10 minutes ago, but Secret just met them with this brawling style that slowed them down.
Slight miscue there by Newbee not popping the glyph bottom lane. Nonetheless, we'll take the tower top. There's the X. The heal comes out first. Follow up. Faith now repelling it off, and that is where the Omni Knight really comes in handy, GoDz, and perhaps the main reason why Newbee picked it is just to deal with this X.
Secret smoke, they want to fight. They know there's no OD.
This could be big
And
for
there's the
them.
relay.
They move in. MP getting on Unai nice and early. He has his ultimate available for the time being. Early commitment there on the Sunder, but didn't get the support he needed from his Omni Knight. Faith will end up going down as well to relocate right back. SCC just farming out the mid lane in the meanwhile.
Yeah. You asked about at the end of the last game, like things to take away and to learn from, and it was just that. That's like the same as last game where someone backs off and then you get caught out by the relocate. They haven't really learned their lesson from game 1 about playing against the IO. It's a hero that, I mean, you go back like to TI3, the Chinese teams never really adapted or learned how to deal with this hero. Some of them started playing it a bit more, but this is this pick-off and split-push style of IO that can be so bothersome, and you have to adjust your entire playstyle when you're versing IO. You can't be farming and pushing lanes alone. You can't have a hero like OD TP mid in plain sight, and then the rest of your team get caught out in a team fight there. So Team Secret doing a great job punishing Newbee's mistakes.
Puppey marches in. He gets down a very nice Observer Ward, and they commit early here with the Ravage, getting the OD on one side, Faith on the other. Unable again to save his ally. Secret having the vision advantage, taking full advantage of it. They now push forward, still coil available. BOT is the next pickup for mid 1, and now another 2,200 gold on top of that. Been a late commitment here for the Blink, if even opts to go for it as Kaka. The confidence of a Repel will move forward, but he is still a relatively low HP, low armor hero. Be careful about overcommitment. Secret will look to muscle down this tower, but now the Crush it connects on 2. 4F, no Ravage for a minute. They're looking to punish the cast bouncing through. KP juking back out of this one. They will commit the Terrorblade ultimate. They've got to find kills while this is being activated, and now mid 1. Phase shift, but no Blink. No easy way out. The Crush follow-up comes through. Pi there to save the day. Has to relocate. Not opting to use it just yet. The boat comes in, but the Repel is there to prevent the initiation onto KP, and now they march forward, chunking down Pi like they'll clock him as well, and now looking for that third kill of the fight. They dive onto 4F, still slithering forward. The Crush, the Amp. A tanky target to be sure, though, as MP turns back for squishy supports. X coming through. Any sort of follow-up? No, it's just to get the hell out of there, buddy X. And it will get him the hell away, but maybe at the cost of a Roche. KP grabbing the Midas and thinking about additional gold and experience for his team. While MP just farms up the jungle. But all things considered, GoDz, they lose 2, but they force out a Metamorphosis, and that is about to end. So as I say that, MP! Oh my! That is a very unfortunate kill to round it out.
He's trying to hang around in the enemy jungle, expecting Newbee to go Roche, and knowing the Metamorph is going to wear off. I really like the decision to hang around. He just needed to not get caught, because once that Metamorphosis wears off, Newbee were going to be much weaker, and Secret wanted to fight and contest this Roche, but MP slightly caught out.
Comes the boat. It's a bit underwhelming here by Puppey. No buyback available on the Slark for 25 seconds. He's out the fight mid 1. Looking to go in. The Ravage commitment with the heal, or rather the Sunder from Unai quickly drops him low. Now they look to hold serve around the pit. Puppey marches in. It's a very uncoordinated fight here from Secret. They may lose 4 as well. That's 2 down. Ravage committed. Make it 3. A sloppy mess around the big rock. Can Pylai die somehow find his way out of here? Well, he will, but meanwhile, no tally getting dropped. KP says, I'll take that too. Thank you very much. 3 down, and S3C looking for a forward. There's the setup. Looking for the follow-up. KP could get controlled here, but the Crush comes out. MP, the lone survivor. He cannot stand against an OD with 32 stolen in. So when it all settles down, an Aegis for S3C, 4 heroes down for Secret, even the big ultimates committed, and a complete 180 once again.
Yeah, mid one dropped an item so he could open up an inventory slot. Went for the Aegis steal.
It was only a null tally, fortunately. I thought it might have been something bigger for a second, but
Yeah, I thought they see him drop an item like while he's next to like an enemy slider. I'm like, are you crazy? He blinks in the pit. He was really close to getting it. That's 2 games in a row he's gone for the Aegis steal. And then he does stay alive for quite a lot longer because he's a puck, but eventually gets
God.
beaten down.
It's really bad for Secret. They have no Ravage. I just got Metamorph up, and they're going to look to siege this. I guess the only piece of good news is the Terrorblade doesn't have the Aegis. It's the less adept building killer in S3C, but still, they are quickly burning down buildings. S3C confidently moving in. Oh boy, Highlight! He's so close, 50 HP, barely living with a sliver of HP for that Hurricane Pike damage. Forced back all the way to the well, and now the Omni Knight trying to keep things together here for Newbee as they brought the melee low. They might be able to finish off. The crush comes through. A bit miscombobulated on the focus fire, but Newbee, they get the objective. In the midst of it all, a dire courier says, take me to Newbee. Take anything but our racks, but Newbee will take those as well. The melee now having fallen, looking to force that deciding game 3. We saw this last time and it did turn, but there is no bounty hunter for Secret. It's going to be a tougher comeback here for Secret.
It's really hard now. They're getting picked off one by one. The Slark kind of coming from behind doesn't have ultimate, so he needs to play this cautiously. And they're finally finding their momentum here. The level 4 repel. You talked about the point in DJ. Now he's finally maxed out the repel. And that was what wins them the fight in the Roche pit. The fact that TB had repel, didn't get ravaged, and could just instantly sunder, because he was taking a lot of damage from Roshan, from the Kunkka who was throwing in spells, from the Puck Orbs, from the Io Spirits. But he has the repel, so he doesn't get ravaged and just instantly stuns his Tide, so he's full HP for the team fight. So repel has been very important this game.
And to add to that, Secret, they don't have a Diffusal Blade, so there's no way to remove it. And they don't really have physical burst damage either. So even if, like, let's say the Omni's late on his ultimate, as long as you have the repel on the TB, he's just going to be able to sunder. The only hero that can really play around that is MP if he wants to use the Shadow damage. So as I say that, MP, he just committed a Dark Pact. He wanted to Ghost Creep. The hammer slams down. S3C finds his mark. Another crucial kill as Newbee start to ramp up their advantage. They were in the driver's seat in game 1. They failed to close out Secret. In game 2, it was a rougher start, but they're following through much more effectively here down the stretch.
Yeah, we're seeing what Omni Knight can bring to the table. That was one of the heroes that we just didn't get to really see at all at TI, but same with OD, but Newbee's pulling out some new stuff here in the same old patch, but different team, different tournament, and they're ready to try and close the deal here in this bottom lane. 20 seconds on Slack, so it will be available for the high ground defense, but they've still got an Aegis on SCCC's OD, so very difficult to fight into him.
Terrorblade doesn't buy back, no BOTs though, and nothing he can really sell. I guess could sell the treads if he wanted to get back into this fight. So they got the 1 extra life to work with here. At that same moment, perhaps a more important item comes out in the form of a Pipe of Insight for Kaka and the smoke back. Newbee.
That was spotted by the ward though, so they Secret know this has happened.
Yeah,
I think it was maybe a
Secret tries to bait. They say, yeah, you know what? Forget about the smoke back. Let's just beat on buildings here. We've got a Terrorblade after all.
And you've only got on the Omni Knight.
And you've only got that 2-second window to jump a hero before the repel's ready again. It's a very tight gap, but they do find it. They get off the silence on U9. They keep Kaka away. He pops the BKB. Let's go with the Sunder. Suddenly 4F's the one on the run. He tries to make it out of here. S3C has been given the repel, so they've got 2 magic immune carries just chunking down Secret, forcing them back, but the BKB will wear off. So too will the repel for a moment here. They've already gotten the second melee though, as Newbee 0 in on a game 2 win, and they secure it. We're going the distance here. Secret will be denied for their 2-0 sweep attempt.
The Newbee supports are just playing incredibly well. They're positioning there. They were on the right side, hiding in the trees as they push. So the Slark and Kunkka were trying to come in from the left side, but they're just tucked away. They couldn't find either of the supports. There was a sentry ward down as well, spotting the Slark initiation, and just great positioning, really safe sieging coming out from Newbee. We forced game number 3, and an all-around solid game from them. This time there was no kind of comeback goal from a bounty hunter. The team fights just weren't as crisp from Team Secret, and Newbee had slightly stronger team fight themselves just purely because of the Omni Knight.
So GoDz, I think the most unorthodox thing we saw this game was certainly mid-1's build. He went Midas into BOTs, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it. It was a pretty action-packed game. Does that, obviously hindsight being 2020, do you feel like that was a major factor in why they lost, or was it more the team playing around them?
I think it was still more the team. I don't know if it was the right build, but it definitely wasn't the build that was the reason why they lose the game there. He still got the Blink Dagger at a decent time. He just was never in a position to really find the Omni Knight and burst the Omni before at the start of a fight. Just that one really bad lost fight towards bottom lane that got Newbee Roshan was really it. The Roche fight itself was probably the deciding factor there. And you go back to the draft, you have that Newbee instantly 5th pick the Omni Knight. As soon as that 5th pick came up, they knew they had a plan for it. And then if you're Secret, we kind of talked about, oh, what is Secret 5th pick? Is there a diffusal here? But there was no obvious counter to an Omni Knight this game. The Morphling could have worked because he's a scary carry and he can split push the lanes, but there weren't any really good carries that could get diffusal or split push. There was just the fighting carry left in the Slark, and it was all right. But to me, this was still like that 5th pick Omni Knight. Basically meant Newbee had a draft advantage.
All right. Well, with that, we'll see who ends up taking the series, guys. It's a best-of-3 showdown here. Newbee taking on Secret. I'm LD. He's GoDz. You're watching Beyond the Summit. We'll be back after a short commercial break for that deciding game number 3. Stick around.